Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. That fucking had one thing majorly wrong with him. Do you remember how he looked? Fucking Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea. Kuno tried to get the Kuno kicked that shit in the sea. Yeah? You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about...
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno...
Yeah, Kuno...
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or...
Your Get lost! Kuno does...
You see, it could be connected to the barred door upstairs. The door does the cobalt old coat. It leads to a side.
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you? To get me in,
What happened?
I was asked to look at...
Did you?
At first, so I went to the... Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk youth.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff. I did some research into this armadura.
How does it?
In parts. 4 in total. So, as I count, there are 2 parts. I guess you won't be collecting them all then. That's less work for you, at least. Oh, they're just gone.
I agree of
Nice. From what I learned, it was a very heavy, boring... No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
Rocking all over the world. In a leg, 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 in a leg.
So, the ship has sailed. Did you see it? I know you did. Tell me, what did it look like as it grew smaller and smaller when that mainsail dropped behind the horizon? Did it look like a germ? Did it look like a piece of bacteria?
His tone is totally different now. The jolly man of the people is gone, and so is the smile. His jaw is clenched, and his quadruple chin is quivering with hatred. This is decades of hatred speaking right now.
Don't worry, Harry. He does. At least I think he does.
You wanted us to relay all this information to her.
That this is a takeover? That I want a war? God, I hope you also told her about the drug trade. They absolutely hate getting their hands dirty with that. You can kill 1 million people, but if you do something the police doesn't like, well, then you're out of the yacht club. Goodbye, you inhuman fuck. Harry. I can't see into the future. We are all playing by ear on this planet. I had no idea she'd react so strongly. I did. I knew the negotiations would go better with police officers telling her horror stories from inside the harbour. It's scarier this way. Turns out it was a magnificent strategy. I never thought it'd so fundamentally fuck her up. No, no, Harry. What we have is real. We're working men. This here is real. Harry, I bunked her cabin. I bunked her whole boat.
They must have done it while Joyce was busy questioning the locals.
Not me personally. I had guys recording and processing this information for me. Hell no! They'd fuck it up. They can't do anything right. I mean,
Where are these boys?
they sure as hell aren't hanging out in the open with beers in their hands for the cops to question. They're pros, Mr. Kitsuragi. Harry, you made a conscious decision to relay that information to her. You could have kept it for yourself. Against you? Oh, Harry, I'd like to think I used it for you.
It was interesting. No arguing against that.
What was always going to happen? We take the harbour and she fucks off to Ozon, uncorks a bottle of wine, calls her partners, and says they need to distance themselves from this nasty business before the big shit spinner splashes everyone. Only difference is the Union doesn't have to lose 2,000 men to machine gun fire. That it will, Harry, that it will. As to the bad taste, please, you're not a sommelier, you're a cop. You knew something, something big, and you wanted to see what happens when you tell someone. So you told her. Anyone who's ever been close to power will tell you, inside information is the sweetest thing in the world. It's better than money, it's better than pussy. Money only makes you special for some salesmen. Pussy only makes you special for yourself. Information makes you special for all mankind. It's the ticket to history. Damn right it does, Harry. What you did was participate in history. When history calls, you have to pick up. You had no choice. None of us ever do. A hard disco cop like you, I knew you...
You know what, detective? I am going to leave this out of my report, and I suggest you leave it out of yours too.
Just look at the three of us. The three careless boyaderos. Good times, good times. Now, there's a whole lot of work to do. For me and for you. I suppose there was a reason you came here, so let's get to it. What can I help my best friend and comrade with today? My. She's quite the looker, Harry. You can't imagine... Tell me, was it difficult to convince the pigs to give it up? I knew you could handle it. I know my special policeman. I'm always happy to educate and entertain you, my friend. So, what's on your mind? Very nice, Harry.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I picked the sides. The side picked me and played me like a cheap fiddle. Right. Fast travel wouldn't go amiss. But I mean, the scenery is pretty. That was a cat buying for foods. Right, subtitles. No one else is that persistent. You get it because he's a cat. Is the purring? These cats, they purr, don't they?
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed.
Oh,
Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
there's the shadowy figure.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways. No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones.
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, you'd be dead already. All things considered, I'm being pretty reasonable here. I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing, it's the ULAN frequency, blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
This must be how the twins heard the radio in their heads. They must have been standing by when she tested it. She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
The pale? It's the end of the world. I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Did it like that by
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not the cops, and of herself merely as prey.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
10 this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
It's right. Yeah, this one.
The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised. So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find to my back.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardy for one.
This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. Those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like. How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Wasn't it? Yeah, you maybe see him kind of. He passed on. You jump in the middle.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. You think I was envious of his conquests? Look, pussy's not a problem for me, and definitely not a reason to off someone.
See her confident gaze, her toned arms. Yeah, she wouldn't have had much trouble in the intimacy department.
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here. I'm listening. I considered her a good friend, yeah. Oh, so that's where you were going with this. That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts we didn't want to catch up with us, and we enjoyed listening to music together.
The lieutenant watches her expectantly, occasionally shaking from the pain.
Okay, fine. I was into her. Clausy was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it.
Clausia only said they maybe kissed. Someone is lying here. She touched that radiant beauty, that silver wellspring of desire.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not about to go into details for you to jerk off to later.